disappointing?
offensive that people on the ground from Virginia are not somehow centered and speaking, and that we were bringing in other people.
Yeah,
They're not letting the chief patron speak either.
well, you didn't have anything to do with that, I guess. So.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I actually think the national group is called it without a smaller part. But you know,
National
still,
groups as in.
ERA coalition.
Okay. All right. Your phone must be
I didn't know about that.
Okay, all right, hold on.
All right, what time is it?
10:19. Hey, Pat, can I say hi? We'll be starting soon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you want to say something to Facebook land? Just take one step
To
back.
Facebook land?
Yeah.
Facebook land.
Here we have Pat Fishback, one of our longtime advocates.
Oh,
Okay. She just there you go.
are you ready? That's my claim to fame. I'm a long-time advocate. And even though I've been working so hard, it's been well worth it. And today is a giant step in our long attempt to get the Equal Rights Amendment added to the Constitution.
Absolutely. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
I think you're right. Yeah, I'm going to stand over here and tell me.
All right, we'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
are you? Good. Nice to see you. All right.
Have fun.
Oh my God. Where are you going? Fishing.
I know.
I like your button. I saw that.
That's what she's putting that down. Katie, will you sign this? I'm trying to get some of my colleagues to sign. It's women's voices. And I don't like the poetry inside, but at least it's a beginning.
You don't love the poetry?
I do not. I just read it. I brought it down.
You're like, I like the cover.
I like the cover, yeah. But I didn't have anything else to hand out to get some signatures. So. I agree with you. This is a stream. I might leave early.
Name everybody. Every small town has a connector to that.
Can I take a picture with you real quick?
Yes, it is. Well, actually, the whole movement has been. And what's going on now in Congress is a fascinating study.
Okay, hold on.
I would. Would you sign my book of women's voices, even though I don't care for the poetry? Okay, let me sign yours.
That's from my Mount Emory. Yeah, because I was there. I got it on the first time, second time, third. I've always been saying we've been having a lot of problems. Someone's setting up the camera.
Sorry.
Oh, I know. I love you. Oh, I know. And the funny thing is my story was heard many years ago. The first time I was trying to get it out of the city. The first time we got it.
I was talking to Kids and Sophie words.
So the next thing I know, it's on the docket. And that got us She's been singing in the back and Reagan from the back. Yeah, she's fabulous. I'm so happy that she's going to be up there because, she knows that was the first time we cracked the film or something. And slowly we started coming through and everything was really quiet. She's a reporter. I don't know. I trust the people. I trust the That's mine. Let me I believe if given the opportunity and space, they will, and when they're on the right side.
No, but I think I know who's on.
All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a minute, so if we can ask you to take your seats, if we can get our speakers to be up front and any members. All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. This morning we're going to hear from Senator Louise Lucas, the President Pro Tem of the Senate. We're going to hear from Speaker Eileen Fillicorn. from Attorney General Mark Herring, from Carol Jenkins from the ERA Coalition, Tony Van Pelt and Kobe Hoffman from NOW, and Eleanor Smeal from the Feminist Majority. So we will go ahead and get started with Senator Lucas.
Today is a momentous occasion of Virginia becoming the 38th state to ratify ERA. Writing women into the Constitution is long overdue. Ensuring equal rights for every American is an extreme importance. We have waited over 400 years, and now is our time. This historic vote. As the first African American and first woman to hold the title as President pro tempore, I feel the significance and the gravity of this moment. I think of my ancestors who arrived on these shores 400 years ago. I think of the history of my people being recognized as human, not being recognized as human beings, fighting for their freedom, fighting to receive an education, fighting to have a place in society, and fighting for equality. I am also reminded of the first woman who came to this land having the audacity, the right of her husband, the woman's suffrage movement, and even in 2020, having to fight to receive the same pay as men for the same work, all for equality. Today is a day that we update that all men are created equal to truly the meaning of all are created equal. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Louise Lucas. We've been fighting for this moment for a long, long time. And wielding the gavel in the Senate today just makes it even that much more special, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
First of all, let's celebrate today, January 27, 2020, once and for all, we in Virginia will become the 38th state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment, and we will send it to Washington, D.C. for its enshrinement in the Constitution of the United States. How about that? Today, the eyes of the nation are on the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you so much to Attorney General Mark Herring for being with us as we set out this historic action. You have been such a champion for women of Virginia. We cannot be more grateful for your commitment and your dedication to enshrining and ensuring that the Equal Rights Amendment takes its rightful place in our nation's founding document. I also want to acknowledge House Majority Leader Charnel Herring, and House ERA Chief Patron Jennifer Carroll Foy, and Chief Patrons Juwan Ward, Hala Ayala, and Kay Corey. How about a round of applause? They have truly poured their hearts and souls into making today's history possible, and thank you. And thank you to all of you. Thank you to so many in this room and outside of this room, these incredible activists and volunteers around the Commonwealth and the country who have persisted in this effort, day in, day out, year in, year out. Today is your day. We all here are deeply appreciative of the thousands of women and men who have marched before us, who worked to make it a more just and equal society, and have, for the last 97 years, fought for the Equal Rights Amendment to make sure that it's enshrined in the Constitution. I cannot possibly begin to thank everybody and enough for all of your and all of their dedication, hard work, efforts, and sacrifice, and leadership. For many of my colleagues voting today who have felt the sting of discrimination, fought hard and earnestly to be treated equally in their workplaces and within our institutional structures, today we are making history. We are walking down a more inclusive path. One where our daughters and their daughters after them will have equal protection under the law. Adding women to the Constitution, as you all know, is long, long overdue. And it is one of the many actions that we will take this session to ensure that we address injustice, and lift up all Virginians. So while we celebrate today, the historic day, the victory for women across our nation, we also thank the heroes whose backs we stand on this afternoon when we ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. Let us all take a moment to honor their struggle by continuing our work to build a more just and a more equal, a more fair, and therefore a more prosperous Commonwealth. Thank you, everybody, for all that you've done and continue to do. I now give you, man that needs no introduction, my friend and yours, our fabulous Attorney General, Mark Carey.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be really brief because today is about the leadership of the women you see up here and the thousands and thousands of Virginians and Americans they represent. And the ERA Coalition, now VA Ratify ERA, Speaker Fillicorn, President Pro Tem Lucas, and others, you all have brought us to the precipice of history. We are, and today I am more proud than ever to be a Virginian. We are truly going to make history today and become the 38th and final state needed to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. And because of our great Commonwealth, gender equality is going to be enshrined in the Constitution, making men and women equal under the law, affording them the fundamental protections against discrimination that they have been lacking for entirely too long. And what is even more amazing is that the ERA is going to pass in the General Assembly where the Speaker of the House, the President Pro Tem of the Senate, and both clerks of the House and Senate are women. Though there are some out there who have already deemed our efforts to pass this historic amendment as futile, to the naysayers and to the opponents of women's equality, I say, do not underestimate Virginia and do not underestimate this movement. Women have suffered as a result of discrimination for 400 years. And if you try to throw up roadblocks, this movement has shown, time and again, they will go over, around, or just straight through them. So I am excited to witness history today, and once those votes are cast, I am as committed as ever to making sure that we have and use every single tool at our disposal to make sure the Equal Rights Amendment becomes a part of the United States Constitution as it should be. Thank you all very much.
Hello everybody, I'm Carol Jenkins. I'm co-president of the ERA Coalition and thrilled to be here at this particular moment when we celebrate a truly tremendous happening. Eileen Fillicorn, when we first saw, I should make sure that I say Speaker Fillicorn. Yeah. We are so proud of you. When we met in New York, this woman promised in New York City, we're going to do it, we're going to do it in Virginia, we're going to do it fast, we're going to get it done, and guess what? She did it. So thank you so much for that. I cannot tell you how thrilled we all are to be witnessing shortly an all-woman-led event in both chambers, I must say. Louise Lucas, President Pro Tem of the Senate, thank you so much for your great service, and we're looking forward to having you there. Charnel Herring, so many women whose names the last time around we would not have been calling, we are calling now because guess what? They are in charge. Congratulations to Virginia for becoming number 38. And thank you to every person with us here today. It's not easy to write yourself into history books, but the state of Virginia has done it. Women and girls everywhere are grateful to you for this tremendous victory. The ERA Coalition believes every person in America deserves an equal future. Our work rests in the belief that the only way to provide that is to amend the rule book that governs our lives in this country, the Constitution. Because of your work here today, we are closer than we have ever been to that equal future. The ERA Coalition is comprised of more than 100 organizations across the country, working every single day to make the Equal Rights Amendment a reality. We are so proud of the work that our lead organizations, VA Ratify ERA, Eileen Davis and Katie Moring. Thank you so much. Not much appreciation for your hard work. Thank you for that. The feminist majority, Ellie Smeal, who has worked on this, she reminded us last night, has worked on this for 50 years. Ellie. Tony Van Pelt of the National Organization for Women. Tony, thank you for your leadership. The National League of Women Voters have joined us as Virginia Chapter 2. We want to commend you for the work that you've done. Now, I don't think we can finish this without welcoming and thanking and praising the Deltas. As I say to them every time I see them, and you know, Anna Bradley, you'll know this, I say, of course I'm an AKA, but I love you guys. Tremendous work. It has been our honor to work beside legislators like Senator Jennifer McClellan, delegates Jennifer Carroll Foy and Hala Ayala, and all of their colleagues to get to this particular day. Women, thank you so much. The coalition's research has demonstrated that the United States is ready for constitutional equality for women. You want to know by how much? By 94%. The country is ready. After nearly 100 years of persistent, determined work, the ERA is on fire. Last April, we had the first hearing in Congress, the first one in 36 years. We'll gloriously have the 38th state shortly, and then states 39, 40, 41, 50, right behind them. And we now know that the week of February 10th, the U.S. House of Representatives will hold a vote on H.J. Res. 79, the bill to remove the time limit on the ERA. On behalf of the coalition's founder and my co-president, Jessica Neuwirth, please stand up. She started all of this work 5 years ago. Our artistic director, I know you know Bettina. She's only been here 20 times. You know, thank you for all the on behalf of the coalition and of girls and women across the country who have a new way of looking at life and their possibilities, we thank you so much for the work you've done here in Virginia. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ellie Smeal, president of the Feminist Majority, past president of NOW, and I've had the honor working for equal rights for women, for the ERA itself, for nearly 50 years. It has, if anybody would have told us when we started out lobbying Congress, we had to disrupt the hearings on the 18-year-old vote. We had a silent vigil on the steps of, don't ever do silent vigils. On the steps of the Capitol, the Senate. It was blocked in the Senate, blocked in the House, at the House Committee, and blocked in the Senate. Jammed it out of there, and we thought, oh, that's it. If anybody would have told us it was going to take 50 years, thank God we didn't know. But every inch of the way, when there was a roadblock, it led to one major thing. We fought harder. We took a pledge right at the beginning that we would never give up. We would never give in until women were equally in this Constitution of ours. And every time there was a slowdown, we sued more, we picketed more, we demonstrated more. And my opinion, if they had just given us this thing, there wouldn't be the powerful women's political movement that helped bring this about in this state too. The constant work at the grassroots level the building of women's political action committees, all the steps on the way has changed our nation. And how, if we were writing a play and we were saying, what would be the last day? And we would have said, you know, every office and high office, the speaker, the president pro tem, the major floor leaders would be women and women of color, and all of them be feminists. They would have thought we were smoking something. So it can not only happen, but I want to have every person in this room, and there's a lot of students here too, take a pledge that you're going to make sure that this amendment that is being ratified, not once. Can you imagine it took us so long to get out of Virginia, and we're going to have it voted on twice successfully in 12 days? And for all the naysayers, that time limit is not binding, and we're going to argue it in court. But we're not going to just rely on lawyers and courts. We're also going to Congress and demanding it be removed. And we're going to nationalize this issue. Right now, Virginia, we were in the top 3 issues for this last election, and we're one of the reasons the House and Senate both flipped. And believe me, we will flip it at the national level if need be, because we're going today, we plot for tomorrow, because equality and justice are not just words. They change people's lives. They open doors. And just think, 2 generations of women that I have been a part of have been denied that. And 2 generations before. This is a 100-year project. It's outrageous. We should be mad about it. We should think about all the denied opportunities. But I hope it just makes us fight harder, do better, and make this country the country it should be for equality and justice.
I'm so proud to be here today to celebrate the formal ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment in Virginia, and Virginia's crossover. It's a good name for today because we're witnessing a crossing point in history. Constitutional equality is no longer a goal. It's on course to happen, although we're not there yet. This day has been a long, long time coming, and credit for this historic victory is due to new leadership of the Virginia legislature and the groundswell of feminist activists and voters who put them there. Because of them, because of us. Not only did we see Virginia pass the threshold the Constitution requires for final adoption of the amendment, but 2 women will make history today by presiding over the Virginia House and Senate for this debate. You know it takes a woman. Now there are 2 more things we need to accomplish. First, we turn our attention to the next bill that McConnell wants to bury in his legislative graveyard. We must push for a vote on SJ Resolution 6, a bill to remove the artificial timeline imposed in the preamble of the Equal Rights Amendment in 1972. Legal analysis don't believe such deadlines are constitutional, but the Senate bill is an extra insurance that already has the bipartisan support of both Senators Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins women. As the president of NOW, I'm honored to carry on the legacy of NOW's former president, Eleanor Smeal. It is her brand of feminist activism that we honor here today. A formal resolution advocating for the amendment to the U.S. Constitution was adopted at NOW's second national conference in 1967, and the whole country saw NOW's signature brand of activism for the first time when February of 1970, NOW leaders disrupted Senate hearings to demand the ERA be considered by the entire floor of the Congress. Our original equal rights Amendment banner, which Ellie had made, is still in use today, marching most recently just last week in the Women's March in DC. Alice Paul called our movement a sort of mosaic. Each of us puts in one little stone, and then you get a great mosaic at the end, she said. Let's all take a moment to admire the beauty and historic mosaic we've made here today and put our power to use as citizens, full citizens, women, activists, and feminist voters to defend women's rights, achieve constitutional equality, and elect more feminist women and allies to office. Thank you.
I would like to note that we would not be here without the states number 1 through 37 to be able to have the historic 38 today. And I would like to recognize in Virginia that everyday citizens across this state, from Big Stone Gap to the Eastern Shore, made sure that we were the 38. Thousands of people have come together, both dead and alive, to hold and to move forward this deeply held American ideal of equality. And I would like to recognize not only now in the chapters, Charlottesville and the state, Virginia, but the feminist majority and the members here, the Virginia Ratify ERA, the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, the League of Women Voters, Equal Means Equal, American Civil Liberties Union, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the ERA Coalition, Equality Now, the Virginia Municipal League, the National Conference of Black Women, the Muslim Community Center, Generation Ratify, the Virginia Education Association, Virginia Poor People's Campaign, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, so many towns, cities, and counties that are just too numerous to name. The American College of Radiology. It's the Committee for the Status of Women, numerous civic associations, the PTAs, many local Democratic committees, the Zion Club, and the American Bar Association, the Virginia American Federation of Labor, the AFCIO, the U.S., the university students, James Madison, George Mason, corporations, businesses, foundations, the McIntosh Foundation, and our legislators. Our many legislators who believe across the United States and in Virginia in particular that we can correct the United States Constitution for its rights, as we have before and we will do again today. Thank you. Thank you all very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.